Well, let me just say, as I ease out of the office I helped build, I'm sorry, but it's a fact that there is such a thing as manners. A way of treating people.
Hey, whatever.
Oh.
Well, hello, kiddies. It's your friendly neighborhood watchman here with you again to talk about The Witcher and Henry Cavill's exit from the series. Now, it's been a while since I've seen the first season, but overall, I enjoyed it. I liked it. Now, I haven't read any of the books yet. I will remedy that, however. The author's name is Andrej Sapkowski, and after I'm done catching up on some other series I'm reading, I've gotten into The Expanse, which I've finished reading the first 2 books. Also been reading Ursula's Earthsea series of novels, which I enjoyed. I reread Dune, since it had been many a year since I first read it, upon watching the movie last year. So I have a bunch of sequels to catch up on, including those done by Frank Herbert's son. There's Isaac Asimov. I purchased Robert E. Howard's complete Conan works, and I'm in the midst of reading Gene Wolfe's Sword and Citadel. So I got a lot on my plate before I even get near Witcher. But back to The Witcher, the woke is here, but we're standing up to him and bringing the smoke.
And we want the smoke!
So without further ado, dive into this article here from Bounding Into Comics with the byline from Spencer Bakuli, with the title being After Henry Cavill Exits Series Allegedly Over Issues with Canon, Netflix's The Witcher showrunner Lauren Hissrich claims upcoming 3rd season, quote, is the closest thing that we've done as a one-to-one adaptation of the book, unquote. So it took them 3 seasons to attempt a faithful adaptation of the author's works. Guess these people think they can do a better job than the creators of the IP they licensed.
Stay on target.
Still hoping to save face, Netflix's The Witcher following the exit of star Henry Cavill, a decision allegedly based on the actor's dissatisfaction with the series' treatment of Andrej Sapkowski's original stories. Now see, that's because Henry, he's not a grifter. He knows the source material. The man is a fan. He knows more than the damn showrunners and producers. I remember that interview where the dude tried to get him to dismiss the fans as toxic. He wouldn't go for that bait. He wouldn't bite.
There's something really interesting with this character that I find fascinating, which is that he genuinely really does just want to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. But everywhere he goes, whether it's a new town or a new bar, people just kind of give him a hard time and they rag on him despite the fact that he has great intentions. I'm curious if that's comparable to this sort of world, this culture of toxic fandom, where like if you make a movie, especially if you make a superhero movie, you have great intentions, but there are always going to be a small yet vocal group of people there can kind of just be toxic.
I understand what you're saying, but when it comes to fans, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have. And people are going to be upset because, especially when you're talking about books or games, because you're never going to be the exact person who they had in their head or who they played on Witcher 3, for example. I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passionate.
Henry did not throw the fans under the bus. The woke didn't like that. To continue, showrunner Lauren Hissrich has claimed that the series' upcoming 3rd season will be the closest thing that we've done as a one-to-one adaptation of the books. I can't help but notice this related article, which I gotta jump into on another video. Henry Cavill's smear campaign claims actor was removed from The Witcher because female Netflix staff found his pushes for source material accuracy to be, quote, disrespectful and toxic, unquote. Yeah. Disrespectful and toxic masculinity. Because he wanted the material to be accurate to its source. This is the stupidity that we have going on in the West today and in Hollywood specifically in relation to this article. He's lucky he got out of there without being accused of unwanted sexual advances. Toxic patriarchy. The thing is, he's good looking enough that you don't have to be harassing women. He has plenty that come right to him. This pisses me off. Hissrich, who previously boasted that she was, quote, the strong independent woman you're looking to blame, unquote, for The Witcher's source material breaking second season, made her claim during a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly. Speaking specifically to Cavill's sudden but unsurprising exit, Hissrich told the outlet, Henry has given so much to the show, and so we want to honor that appropriately, before lamenting how The Witcher's third season will be his last, particularly because, quote, what is so interesting is that season 3 to me is the closest thing that we've done as a one-to-one adaptation of the books, unquote. To repeat the quote for the third time, yeah, she's full of shit. Obviously, we can't do every page, but the time of contempt gave us so many big action events, plot points, defining character moments, huge reveals of a big bad, she added. There's so much to do that we were able to stick really closely with the books, unquote. I guess it's a big deal when they decide to stick to the author's work, especially being that he's a man. I bet that sticks in their craw. Speaking further to how they wanted to honor Cavill's time in the role, Hissrich explained, Geralt's big turn is about giving up neutrality and doing anything he has to do to get to Ciri. And to me, it's the most heroic send-off that we could have, even though it wasn't written to be that. Geralt has a new mission in mind when we come back to him in season 4, said the showrunner. He's a slightly different Geralt than we expected. Now, by the way, that's an understatement, unquote. Pressed by Entertainment Weekly as to whether or not the Witcher production team had considered keeping Cavill on, either as a producer or in a different role, Hissrich admitted, quote, we haven't even thought about that at this point, unquote. Of course not, because after we just read, they were pissed at him because he knew more than they did as far as canon. So they weren't going to elevate him to a producer's role. Those fembots don't want none of that. Quote, we have plans to keep this going in various permutations, unquote, she continued, making reference to such The Witcher spin-offs as The Blood Origin and the upcoming anime production, Nightmare of the Wolf. Quote, I love the mothership. I'm going to stick to it. But obviously, we have Blood Origin coming out, unquote. And here's a character created from the show that's not in the books, Ayla. I hope that this doesn't end for a while, the showrunner ultimately concluded. So I think the possibilities are endless, and we'll see what happens. Unless my ass, not the way you fembots are butchering Andrej Sapkowski's work. Unfortunately for Hissrich, the current direction of the franchise may put a limitation on just how many screen projects she'll get to play with in the Witcher universe. Thank God. Not only has the series lost a large swath of its fan base, who were only along for the ride because of Cavill, but the aforementioned prequel series, Blood Origin, is currently finding no favor among mainstream media critics. As of writing, the film currently holds a 37% rotten rating on review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, with only 7 of its currently published 19 reviews giving it a positive recommendation. The third season of The Witcher is currently on track to hit Netflix sometime in summer 2023. Meanwhile, The Witcher Blood Origin already premiered on Christmas Day. Ha! Boy, what a Christmas present.
Naughty or nice?
And with that, my friends, we've come to the end of this video. In regards to this article, I'm going to quickly jump on the other article, which grabbed my attention. If you'd like to comment, please do. Hit that like button. Lick it, kiss it, caress it, smack it, whack it, attack it. And please subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell so that you'll be forewarned whenever I decide to
Drop
another video. And as always, stay safe, and I bid you peace.
Favors and friends don't pay bills. If you witches labored for more